Hi guys, it's the Sciencebarbie. Today we're going to learn about Gaussian elimination. When are we going to use this algorithm for? Now what we have here is a system of linear equations. We have three equations here, 1, 2, 3, and we have three variables a, b, and c for which we want this system to be solved. Now the algorithm that we're going to apply here is developed by a German mathematician called Gauss. And that's why it's also called Gaussian elimination. And this algorithm is based on matrix operation, and the matrix that we're going to use is called the augmented matrix. That's what we're going to use, because we are going to write down the coefficients of these equations into a matrix. How does this matrix look like? Well, we have the coefficients of, now we start with the variable a. Usually it's something like x, y, z, but here in this system it's a, b, and c. And in the last column we're somehow expecting the solution. Now, what do the coefficients look like in this augmented matrix? For a, it's 1, for b, it's 1, for c, it's 1, and the right side of the equation is 0. Now the second line we have 4 times a, 2 times b, 1 times c, and 1 on the right side we have 9 times a, 3 times b, 1 times c, and 3 on the left side. Now what we want to have is we want to have here an echelon form of this matrix with pivot elements here on the main diagonal and zeros below. Here it's already nice because it starts with a 1 here. What we need next is we have to have a 0 here and a 0 here. So we make this kind of arrow. It looks like a little bit like a snake. And what we're going to do, we say, okay, line number 2 minus 4 times line number 1, and line number 3 minus, well, let's guess 9, of course, 9 times number 1, and we get a new matrix, again for a, b, and c, and here the solution on the right side. And we're of course going to find the entries of this matrix here. What we can start with is just writing down the first equation, first line of this matrix, because this remains untouched. Now the second line, we say it's 4 times the first, the second time minus 4 times the first one. 4 minus 4 is 0, 2 minus 4 is minus 2, and 1 minus 4 is minus 3. 1 minus 0 is 1, and here we have 9 times is of course 0 here. 3 minus 9 is minus 6, 1 minus 9 is minus 8, and 3 minus 0 is again 3. Now it looks great, doesn't it? Because now we have here already 1 and nothing but zeros underneath. The next thing we would like to have here is somehow, here it's nice to be positive and have zeros underneath. Okay, now let's start here with minus 2. What could we do? We just multiply here the second row with minus 1. And it's just easier to handle. Now let's write it down again. Again, it's a, b, c, and the solution. We're keeping first row untouched. The second one we multiply, of course, with minus 1. Minus 2 times minus 1 is 2. 3 minus 1. So all we did is we changed here the signs, and we keep the last row as it is. Now what do we want next? Already looking quite nice. we want a 0 on this position, because here that's our new pivot element. And how do we get a 0 here? Well, we just add to the third row 3 times the second row, because 3 times 2 is 6 minus 6 plus 6 is 0. Now let's write this down so that everybody can see. Again, we're going to have A, B, C, and somehow the right side of this equation. We're going to keep the first line 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 2, 3, minus 1. Make it clear. And now the last one. 0 plus 0 equals 0. Minus 6 plus 6 is 0. Minus 8 plus 9 is 1. And finally, 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Now we already have the solution. Here we see 1 times C. This is the third row. We're looking here at the third row. It says 1 times C equals 0. This means C equals 0. That's already the first solution. Now let's go to the second row. We have 2 times B plus 0, because 3 times 0, let's write it down once, 3 times 0 equals minus 1. So we have 2B equals minus 1, which means B equals minus 1/2. And finally, from the first row, we have A. 1 times A is A, plus 1 times B is minus 1/2, plus 1 times C is 0, equals 0. Therefore, A, we just put the 1/2 to the right side. A equals 1/2. And now we have the solution of this system of equations. We take a look again what we had. Now we know A is 1/2, B is minus 1/2, and C is 0. And this is the solution to this system of linear equations using Gaussian Elimination.
Das war ein Mathematik-Tutorial der Sciencebarbie. Jedes Like und Abo des Kanals freut uns sehr. Für Feedback und Kommentar nutzen Sie die Kommentarfunktion.